Good evening and welcome back to the Mindful Model Maker. As we were discussing before on this model, it said that a chromy silver. So I've where I live now, there is a local model shop, and I went there and I purchased a couple of silvers. So I'm going to try this first one. This is a chrome silver for marker pens. This is a liquid, and the idea is I think you put these, it's suitable for plastic model kits, but I think it's a refill for like a marker pen that you can use. Yeah, who's it made by? It just says chrome silver refill for markers. DSPIAE, it says on the top, so I don't know of this company, but yeah, it wasn't cheap. It was $11.99, but it gives you a chrome finish. I've put a little bit on the lid of that tin, and you can see the chromy bit there. So yeah, it looks like it. So it's got a ball bearing inside for helping to mix. So I'm not going to bother with a marker pen. I have some somewhere. I'm not sure where they are at this moment in time. But I'll just pour a little drop of that out into there. Like so. Shut the lid. Yeah, and it looks as though it's going to go very chromy. So it might take a couple of coats in order to bring it to that effect. But yeah, we'll try this and see, because this is the piston. So I'll paint that up. I mean, obviously a lot of this I don't think you're going to see going up and down in the cylinder itself, so I'm just daubing it on really, because it might need a second coat. But you can see it does kind of shine, so this I think is really going to do the job better than a lot of the paint. So yeah, so I think this will solve this problem. I did have another one, which is one of the metal coat paints, which are done by Humbrol, which is Met 27002. And I believe, from what the guy in the shop said, because I've never used them, you can put that on and you can buff that up and make it shine more. So I'll use that. If this is not successful, I'll go over the top with this, but I'm thinking this is going to be quite good. So it is shining up quite nice on there. I think you can see the difference. So it is looking more like an aluminium or aluminum if you're American. But yeah, it does seem to be going on there quite nice. So we'll stick with this for this, because I think once this dries, this will produce the finish that I've been looking for this. So yeah, the little model shop that I've found near to where I live it's quite good. It's well stocked model railway stuff. I don't tend to buy a lot. I mean, I'm into model railways, but I don't tend to buy a lot of things just off the shelf. I tend to look around for perhaps second-hand stuff that needs perhaps a bit of repair, and just do it myself to keep the price down, because a lot of model railway stuff is quite expensive now. So that's not my thing really. Yeah. So we seem to be getting on. So let's put a bit more paint in the lid. There. That's it. Get that all painted on. It might need a second coat, I'm not sure, but when you daub this stuff on, it does look really nice. So yeah, let's get this in and painted. Don't all go too heavy in certain bits, like where the gudgeon pin goes through, because I don't want it seizing up. Because obviously this, I want to make this kind of run. So yeah, we're getting that round on there now. We're just making that look a bit like that. Try and get it on and smooth it out a bit. It might level itself actually as time goes on. I have washed this, but it seems to be separating a little bit on the plastic. But we'll see what happens. Like I say, if it doesn't go right the first time, I'll put a second coat, but the further I hold it away, the more realistic it's looking now. So we'll just get that on there like so. Yeah, again, I haven't done much this week, but next week I think we're going to try and get a bit more done. Get on with the model a bit more, because we're going to be starting perhaps the garden railway reasonably soon. I think I've got the idea in my head as to what I want to build and how I want to build it, which is going to be a little bit different to perhaps most things that we've seen, and there's a reason for that, because there's an idea that's kicked around in my head for some time, and I just want to have a go at making it and seeing what it's like, and seeing if other people think it's good as well, because it's not only just what I think about things, it's what other people think. So we're getting a rough coat on here now, and I think if we just leave that, it seems to be levelling out quite nicely, like so. And then we can see what it's like when it's done. I'm probably not going to paint the top of the piston, because I don't really think there's any necessity to do so, because when it's inside you're not really going to see that. So we'll just see what's going to happen. I'm just going to leave that like that now and see what that comes up like. So there we are. That's how I think that looks like an aluminium-y type thing. It's got a bit streaky. I'm going to leave it. I'm not going to play with it anymore. So I'm just going to pop it there and put that there. So this looks like good stuff. So if you really want to get a chrome finish on a plastic, I think that's how it's going to go. It might need a second coat, but I'll wait and see. So I'll leave that there to dry, and of course in the meantime we'll clean off this brush. Right, and then I've got something else to show you for the moment. It's something else that I'll probably, what I may do is make this model at the same time as the other one. So we will incorporate that as well. Not sure yet, but I'll show you what I found. I went to a garden centre at the weekend, and in that garden centre they had this unbuilt model. It was £15, got a ticket on it. Now this beam engine is made at the same time as the 4-stroke engine, and inside it's in the packet unopened, so it's a complete model of a beam engine. Slightly few more parts to this one than the other one, but this is what it will build up like. So it's going to build the beam engine like so. And again, I think this would probably come out the same time as the 4-stroke engine. The reason why I say that is because on the base, I think it had the bit for the motor to stick out to drive the large wheel round on it. But that's again like this modern one that I've got, or more modern than the original, where you wind it around by handle. It has a handle fitted on the large wheel now, and you just wind that round to make it work. So yeah, it shows there's a bit there. Now that, I believe, is where the motor was. There's no motor with it, so I think that it got revised the same as the other model that I'm building. It looks very nice. It's all green. Looks a pretty nice moulding. It's a good size model. That's the actual size of the wheel, which is quite big, really, in comparison. So, yeah, another nice model. So, if they're the type of models you like building, then we'll rattle on through those and try and get those built as well. So I'll have a look at what's on number one of this one, and we'll just see what's there. Yeah, so the first one is just putting together the actual stand that it goes on, and then you start putting together the various pivots and various bits from there, and then the actual metal. This actually does have a metal axle that goes through. Yeah, another case of a pretty easy kit to build. I think it's what sets it off is just mainly the painting and making it work as well. So there we are. So that is the Airfix beam engine, and I paid £15, and you can see that the packet hasn't even been opened. So we'll go back to the instructions for the 4-stroke engine, which we have here, and we started off by making the crank bits, and then of course we've got the 2 bits of the actual crankcase, which have got to go on as well. So that's pieces 16 and 20. So they've got to, they're the next little bits and pieces to go on. So yeah, I'm just going to have a look at what colour they are. So they're going to be green. So 16 and 20 are the next pieces that we need. So we'll go down. Just have a look at those. Yep, see, they're nice sized pieces here. It's nice and easy to work with. So we'll look for the number on there. So there's number 20. So again, I will use my screw cutters, which are here. And I always cut a little bit, not right up tight, because I don't want to cut the actual plastic. So I try and just nip it away. I would sooner have a little bit to file off than a chunk missing out of the original casting. So just cut them off like so. Go around the other side. And then probably what I'll do is just clean this up. If it's too tight, then what I'll do, I'll cut the sprue like that and do it, and then set that there. So, and sometimes I use the sprues for mixing paint and things like that. So that's got that there like that, and then I'm just gonna get that cut in where I can't get it because it won't go in for some reason. No, I don't know why. This piece on top has decided. So just cut that like that. Right, we'll get that in there like so. Yeah, this is quite difficult. Oh, that's it, and we'll do it like that. So that's much better. There, and then the other bit was in here. Oh, no. Yeah. So this is the next part, which is, I believe, number 16. We'll just check. Number 16 is the piece we want. Yep, 16 is definitely the piece we want. So there we are. That's there. Again, I'm just going to cut the screw cutters. Cut like so. Like so. Like so. So that goes off like that. I'll put these bits back in the box so they keep clean. Try not to knock the camera, it's not a good idea. That's it. Right. Now the other thing we need, so brushes there, paints there, is just a little dummy run, I think, just to make sure that's going to fit nicely into there. Yeah. So that's how that's going to go. So I need to file up the pieces that I need to clean. My little toolbox here at the side, and we'll just have a little file around. These files have got the diamond kind of grit on them, so they're not just an ordinary type file, and it doesn't take too long because I don't really want to damage the finish too much on there, but need it to go together looking quite nice. So I'm just filing off the little bits of plastic that were there, like so, and then these bits will be painted the appropriate colour, which I believe on here will be green. And on the inside, I don't know how much of that inside bit, I think you're going to see a little bit of it. Yeah, there's the cutaway actually. So we'll put this together like so. And this is where it's going to start getting a bit more tricky. Right, so put that together. So there's the first bit of cutaway there. Okay, so that's going to have a red line on the thickness of the metal of the cast, and the green is going to be there, and then on the inside a kind of a yellowy cream, so that will be on the inside. So yeah, so it's always good to have the dry run, have a look at what's going. So there's quite a bit of work really. I mean, it's quite an easy model to build. It's big. You've got to make the bits free run, so it requires you basically as a fitter to make the parts actually move, especially once they're painted, because obviously you put a thickness of paint on, you're going to make it harder, and also there might not be paint required in certain areas because it's not going to be seen, because once the top of the cylinder's on and the cylinder head is on, you're not going to see the top of the piston because it doesn't allow you to see that bit. So let's just file them bits off. You can hear that just coming off quite nice. So that's it, and then the next bit to do on this really is to wash these bits, and again have a kind of a bit of a dummy run. So you've got your kind of half shiny piston, which is drying up quite quick already, and I believe that goes through on here on the conrod there, and that goes, how does that go? Don't go through there. That goes through there like so. So we're kind of getting that like that. Then I believe that's it. that's going to go in there like that, and that's going to go in there like that, and then these bits will fit somehow, like so. I don't know why they're not fitting yet, but they're not. Something's holding it apart there. Right, that goes there. That will go there. So you can see it's not the easiest thing at the moment to fit. I don't know why some of these bits are not going how they should do. You can see it's going to be a lot of fiddling around. Right, so that bit's put together there. That bit is put together there. And then you've got to get that lined up at the top. So right, we're kind of lined there with the piston in the middle. So eventually that will, as that goes round, your piston will then move up and down like so, and that will move inside the cylinder. So there we are. So that's how that will be. So that's the piston, and you can see the crank inside the actual crankcase housing. Alright, so that needs a little bit of fiddling around with still. Needs a bit of cleaning up in places, and then to make it all fit together. So yeah, so there we are. So it's that again, it's quite a nice model. So I'll see you in the next one. I'll clean that up, wash it, and then start some painting and get the next bits, and probably do a little bit more of the piston and get that ready as well, so that when the piston turns it will go up and down like so. So that's bottom dead center, and then it starts coming on its way back up again like so, as I'm turning the crank back up to top dead center. Okay, so, and that's how that bit will work. So yeah, it's looking quite a nice model. So I'm going to leave that for there now, and also the beam engine will be coming along as well. But we'll work mainly on this to start with, but I may just butt in at little pieces of doing the beam engine. So there we are. So that's all for now, and I will see you in the next video, which hopefully I'll try and do tomorrow night. So thank you for watching. See you soon. Bye now.